Mala is given money to buy supplies for a class party. She spends 20% of the money on sweets and cool drinks and 10% on paper plates. She then spends 40% of the money left over at this stage on sandwiches. She then has 168 left over. How much money did she spend on paper plates? So we're going to break this question step by step. Let the total amount of money Mala given be X. So X will be what? Total amount. Total amount will be X. And then step 1, 20% spend on sweets and cold drinks. 20% of X means 20 divided by 100 multiplied by X, which is basically 0.2x. So at this stage, after spending 20%, she's left with x minus 0.2x, which gives us 0.8x. That is the money she is left with. So now, step 2, we're going to calculate the 10% spend on paper plates. So 10%, which is 10 over 100, spend on paper plates is basically 0.1. We can say step 2 here to break it down. So this will be 0.1x because 10 over 100 is 0.1. So her total spend so far is basically the 0.2x plus the 0.1x, which gives us 0.3x. So which means she's left with, the money she's left with is x minus 0.3x, which is 0.7x. Right. And then they say she is going to spend 40% of the remaining money on sandwiches. So remember, 40% is 40 over 100. Is going to be spent on the remaining money, which is 0.7x. Right? And then let's see how much will that be. Basically here we're going to have 40 over 100 multiplied by 7 over 10x. And then let's see, the 0 will cancel that one. We know that this will be 28 over 100. Ne? So equals to 28x over 100. And then what will that be? We know that we need to move decimal points twice, which is 0.28x. So this is the amount she's going to spend on the leftover, right? So now after spending this, we have to subtract it from the 0.7x. So we're going to have 0.7x, which is the money that she had before she spent the 40%. So let's take the 40% out. That gives us 0.42x. And this is the money she's remaining with. And we were told that the leftover amount is 168. 168 rands, right? So 0.42 can be written as 42 over 100. Then we have x here, which is equals to 168. We can therefore multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 42 over 100, which is 100 over 42, so that they can cancel. We need to isolate the x. Even this side is gonna be 100 over 42. Then this cancels that cancels that. Then we have x equals to, now let's check, ladies and gentlemen. We can simplify it step by step, right? Baby steps. We know that 2 goes 21 times here. It goes 50 times there, right? And then let's see if there's anything common between 168 and 21. 168 and 21, is there anything common? Let's see. Let's see, 3, yes, 3 can go into both. It goes 56 times into 168, and then here I have 50 into 21. It goes 3 times, and then 3 can still go into 56. Let's see, how many times does 3 go into 56? Can it go? Oh, here it must go 7 times. Sorry, ladies and gents. 3 has to go 7. So it goes 56 times there. Here it goes 7 times. Ne? And then we know that 7 can go into 56. It goes 8 times, right? Times 50. So x must be 400. And the question was asking for, let's go back up and see what was the question asking. The question was asking, how much money did she spend on paper plates? So we're going to look for, this is the amount she spends on paper plates, right? Which is 0.1 times x, ne? So which is, so she spent 40 rands on paper plates, which is the answer will be D, because we're going to now do this, ne? We're going to say, okay, 0.1x is what was spent on paper plates, but 0.1 times 400 is basically, remember 0.1 is the same as 1 over 10 times 400. The zeros cancel, we left with 40. So the answer will be on option what? Let's see. The answer will be option D. Get it, ladies and gentlemen? Awesome. Now let's quickly dive into question 12. I'm going to erase here quickly. Let's dive into question 12. Okay, in question 12, they want us to find the value of n, for which 4 9 to the power n minus 9 to the power n equals to 3801. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, on the left, I have 2 terms, which is this one and that one. And there's something common between these terms, which is 9 to the power x, or 9 to the power n in this case. So I can take it out as a common factor. I'm going to say, oh, sorry. So here we have 1. Okay. So I take 9 to the power n out. So here it cancels, I'm left with 4. Then there's a minus sign. Here it cancels, I'm left with 1, because anything divided by itself is 1. And I have 3 to the power 801. And then that will give us, okay, in the bracket we can see 4 minus 1 simplifies to 3, which is 301, right? Okay, let's fix this actually. Perfect. And then 9 can be written as 3 to the power of 2. Then that's to the power of n. Then we have multiplied by 3 to the power of 1, which is equals to 3 to the power 801. And then that will give us 3 to the power 2n, because this and that will multiply, dot 3 to the power 1 equals to 3 to the power 801. Then here we have the same basis. We can add the exponents, so it's going to be 2n plus 1, which is equals to 3 to the power 801. Now the bases are the same, we can drop them. Can drop the bases, they are the same. So this base will cancel that one. So I have 2n plus 1 equals to 801. 2n equals to 800. Then dividing both sides by 2, we get 400. So the answer would be 400. Let's go and see which option is 400. That is option D again, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty. So now we need to do the last question on this video. Alright, let's do the last question on this video. Okay. The other questions will be on the upcoming videos. So ladies and gentlemen, we are told that A, this B equals to A minus 2 times B. And we are asked to find the value of that. Ne? So we can tell that by using BODMAS, I'm going to start with 5, this 2. Ne? You can see that 5 is like A, B is like 2. So it's like I have 5 minus 2 times 2, because my B is 2. And this will give me 1. Ne? Which then makes the value to be 7, this side 1. And then this will just be the same. It's going to be 7 minus 2 times 1, which is 5. So the correct answer is 5, ladies and gentlemen, which gives us option A. If this was helpful, if question 13 blew your mind, obviously this was just a mind game question, right? You needed to see the pattern between the left and the right, so and apply it here. Ne? There was no mathematical formula that is known there. It was just a mind problem, and there will be questions like this in the NBT where you just have to see the pattern. Don't forget to share with family and friends. Thank you very much.